I told y'all he's not him. What's going on? What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to Sharpe Sports, and today we're going to be doing a quick breakdown. What did we learn from the Texas versus Ohio State game? Leave this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below which game you want me to break down next. Now, real quick, because I can already hear all of those Texas Longhorn fans screaming into the comment section, "Oh, give him a chance, Marcus. Oh, you're switching up. You're just joining the Arch Manning hate bandwagon." No. Hear me out. The last time that I was critical of a Texas quarterback was Quinn Ewers, and I said that he wasn't him. I was really high on him coming out of high school, but then he ended up just being a strong arm but couldn't control it. And you guys were saying, "Oh, Marcus, you better eat your words." The second that Quinn Ewers showed a little bit of talent, you guys came screaming at me, being like, "Oh, you gotta, man, you were so wrong about Quinn Ewers." And then look what happened. He ended up not being what ended up being exactly what I thought he was. And you guys wanted, and you were praying that Arch Manning would get in over Quinn Ewers. And now I've been saying since high school that Quinn Ewers is not this like generational type quarterback. He's really good. He's a very, very good quarterback, but he's not who you guys want him to be just yet. I've been saying for a very long time that Arch Manning is a very good quarterback in terms of mechanics. From the outside looking in, he has everything that you want. He's got the prototypical size. He's a little bit mobile. They be gassing him up with the mobility just because he's faster than Peyton and Eli, which is not saying much. They be gassing him up like he's Lamar Jackson out there. We got to stop with that. But he's a little bit mobile, but he has a very pretty throwing motion, and overall he's relatively accurate. But all of those factors do not make you a great quarterback. I honestly believe that Arch Manning is nowhere near a Heisman hopeful, nowhere near a all SEC quarterback. I think that if this is where he needs to be. If he can do exactly what Julian Sayin did on the other side of the ball, hey, you don't need to win games for Texas. You just need to not lose them for Texas. Because I do believe that you give Arch Manning a full season underneath his belt, I do think that next year, you'll start to see more flashes of the quarterback that everyone wants him to be. You see, I thought I was pretty fair on him. But no, actually breaking down the entirety of the game, it was quite easy to see that, for one, it was a season opener. It was a lot of sloppy play, a lot of drops on both sides of the ball, and as it is in most week ones, defenses are going to be significantly more prepared than the offenses are. Especially when both teams are starting their young quarterbacks, you don't know what schemes that they like. You don't know what coverages they like seeing to be able to effectively break down the defenses. So it was quite clear that yes, this was an early season game as to why it was ended in a 14-7 game. If I'm a Texas fan, the biggest takeaways that I am taking away from this game is that, for one, the expectations of Arch Manning need to come way down. Like I said, he's not going to be out there winning you guys games. You need him to just not lose you guys games. If he can do that for the entirety of this season, maybe even start to be like that winning factor a little bit later on in the season when he's got a couple of more games underneath his belt, I think that's a little bit more of a fair assessment of him. But again, I really see him being like a maybe first team, but more realistically like a second team all SEC quarterback at best next season. And the second big takeaway is that, man, you guys have got to be able to convert on those 4th and short situations. Texas has one of the best defenses in the entirety of the SEC. Being able to hold Ohio State, even with all of the factors that I said, to only 14 points and to outproduce them on the offensive side of the ball, it lets you know that this game should have been an easier win for Texas than obviously the loss that they got. Texas, you guys have a phenomenal defense. Your defense is full of absolute dogs, flying around, making plays, putting Texas's offense in situations where they can win. Texas, you need to be able to capitalize on those 4th and short opportunities. I mean, going 1 for 5 and 4th down opportunities is simply just not gonna get it done, especially when those 4th down opportunities were like 1 to 2 yards. If I was Coach Sark, I'd go back to the drawing board and we need to completely revamp and just figure out how we want to tackle 4th and short situations. Because running it up the middle, you weren't getting the push that you needed from your offensive line. I think getting Arch out of the pocket, getting him to roll out, to be able to use his legs if you need him to, I think that's where you're going to see a lot more of Arch being able to shine, not just leaving him back there just to assess the field. He can do that. I just don't think that right now that's his strongest suit. But now let's actually talk about the team that actually won the game. That is the Ohio State Buckeyes. Hey, if y'all don't know, I feel like I've been like an honorary Ohio State Buckeye fan. You guys have shown so much love to the channel, and so I always want to shout you guys out where I can. And y'all played a very good game with a massive asterisk on it. So like I was saying earlier on in the video, this was a game where, yes, Ohio State's offense is not there right now. It just simply is not. Now, I'm not saying that as like some doom and gloom, like, oh, it's never gonna be there, but we need to have some serious expectations. I saw Julian Sayin coming out of high school. He played exactly how I thought that he was gonna play at the next level, which is great because he's at least living up to my comp for him and my recruiting report on him. But he's not going to be a CJ Stroud for you guys. Julian Sayin is a smaller framed, highly accurate quarterback who is able to dissect a defense very effectively. But unfortunately, that's just not the offense that Ohio State has built with the players that they have. You have by far and away the best player in college football in Jeremiah Smith. Younger players, he didn't really show up that much in this game, but you have one of the best wide receivers to ever touch a college football campus in Jeremiah Smith. And Julian Sayin does not have the arm to get it out to him. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. You can pretty much kiss any like moonshot goodbye unless Julian Sayin sees that Jeremiah Smith literally beat his corner 2 steps into his route. I mean, even on his solo touchdown throw to Carnell Tate had his guy beat for miles, and he ended up just throwing this moon ball that ended up dropping down. Yes, you do want to give your wide receiver a chance to be able to come back to the ball, to be able to attack it at the high point, but on a play like that, you just, hey, when he's got him beat, just let it fly, let him run up underneath it and catch it. Julian Sayin does not have that arm, but I loved seeing how poised and collected he kept himself the entire game, because Julian Sayin's week got off to a slow start. I mean, he was through some absolute dimes, one to Max Clare, who just dropped an easy 4th down conversion, as well as Jeremiah Smith not being able to pick up the sticks a couple times earlier on in the game. You would think that, man, you know, a lot of expectation, massive game for the season opener. You would have thought that maybe Julian Sayin gets a little bit nervous. Maybe he's like, oh, maybe I can't trust all of my wide receivers. Maybe he ends up second guessing himself. No, he went out there, he played his game, and I thought that he played a really good game. I mean, 13 for 20 for 126 yards and a touchdown. Realistically, he probably should have been closer to like 15 for 20. Hey, I'll take 75% completion percentage all day. I mean, literally, you take those 2 drops, that's 15 for 20, 75%. There was a couple of other plays where I thought that he really could have made something a little bit more happen. Overall, I was extremely impressed with Julian Sayin's performance. I think that Ohio State needs to tailor their offense a little bit more to him. I don't think that we're going to see this big, explosive Jeremiah Smith that we saw last year, because Will Howard had an arm to be able to get it out to him. For example, that throw down the sideline in the national championship game last year, Julian Sayin's not making that throw. But realistically, you don't need him to. Let Julian Sayin be a game manager. Let him dissect the defense extremely efficiently. He's not gonna put the ball in harm's way. He's never gonna be losing a game for y'all. Let the running game continue to get itself figured out. There's still a couple of tweaks in there, but overall, I liked what Ohio State showed, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Because if there is one highlight that the Ohio State Buckeyes showed, it wasn't their quarterback, it wasn't their all-pro, all-world wide receiver Jeremiah Smith. Ohio State's defense continues to show why they won the national championship last year. Now, okay, yes, Ohio State had a great offense, but their defense was equally as impressive, and they're bringing back a equally, if not more impressive squad this season. Ohio State's defense was giving Arch Manning fits all game long. They simply could not get into a rhythm. They sped him up when he was needing to slow down. They never gave him a clean look. There was always a DB right on a wide receiver's pocket. Literally, Arch had nowhere to throw the entire game, and that was because of just how well that the Ohio State Buckeyes secondary protected or guarded all the wide receivers, as well as Ohio State. They got some people that they're gonna get home. I know that they only had 1 sack, but hey, they're going up against an SEC caliber offensive line week 1. You got to let your guys, we got to find a way to scheme up some guys a little bit more free, but overall, I was extremely impressed with how Ohio State's defense played. Now, next week is going to be just a tune-up week for both teams. Texas is playing San Jose State. Ohio State's playing Grambling State. So those should be very easy wins. I think those are always the games that you would love to come off of after playing in this big-time game. Hey, give Arch Manning a toss-up. Let him go out there and throw 350 yards. Like, I would literally next week have the entire game plan on offense focused around, let's get Arch easy throws early, let's let him get his confidence back, and then let's air it out in the third and fourth quarter, and let's have him put up a monster stat line. You got to get the confidence back up underneath the kid. Don't get me wrong. Everyone's like, oh, he's a Manning. He knows how to handle the pressure. I don't care who you are. You go into the shoe, and you're over there getting screamed at by 100,000 people, and then you don't end up performing. It's gonna take a little bit off of you. It's gonna dull your edge a little bit. Let's help him. Let's help him get his edge a little bit back sharper. Let's get him out there. Let's go give him a nice easy game plan to go out there and absolutely dissect San Jose State. And then if I'm Ohio State, hey, next week is all about seeing where can I get Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith to match up. What do I need to do? Or is he going to just be running drags all game? Is he going to be running a 15, 20-yard comeback? Is he going to be running a 15, 20-yard dig across the field? What route combo can Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith team up on so that Jeremiah Smith can continue to be the player that he needs to be to go as high into the draft as he possibly can? And what type of wide receiver does Julian Sayin need him to be so that Julian Sayin can be the quarterback that Ohio State needs? That is what I would be focusing on. Both defenses are extremely well. They're going to shut both teams to easily 10.5 points or less. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit easier next week, but that's what we learned. We learned that Texas is not going to be the world beaters that we thought that they were, preseason #1 that we thought that they were, because Arch Manning is just simply not the quarterback I've been telling you he is not. And again, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's not the #1 overall quarterback. Sorry. Hey, it's not my fault. Y'all watch the game. It is what it is. Ohio State, very good chance of repeating as national champions. I do have a lot to say about Michigan in a positive light. I know all my Buckeye fans might not want to hear that. Hey, there's a lot. I love the parity that we got going on this year in college football, because I seriously do not think that there is a definitive #1 team in the country. And with it being expanded, and we got a little stuff going on. I'm excited for this college football season. Leave this video a like, comment your thoughts down below on this game. Do you guys think I'm being too harsh on Ohio State or on Texas? Do you guys think that I'm being too lenient on Ohio State? Vice versa. What are your thoughts, comments, concerns? Put them down in the comment section. Love and appreciate all y'all. If nobody's told you this today, you are absolutely amazing. Man, we have a great and beautiful college football schedule lined up for us over these next couple of days. Hey, know that you don't have to go through this world alone, that Jesus Christ is right there with you. If you ever feel alone, if you ever feel like you're not being heard, if you ever just feel that, sometimes you're not enough, know that you were made literally in the image of Christ himself. And know that you do not have to go through this world alone. You can always call upon Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter what you've done in your life. It doesn't matter who you think that you are as a person, because in the eyes of God, when you accept his son Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you are his son in his eyes. Always remember that. Love and appreciate all y'all, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.